What's going on, guys? So, I'm going to give you my reaction to week 5 and go over some of my picks. So, first of all, I went 10-6 on the week, so a little bit worse than the previous week, but we're still in the win column. So, let's start with a Thursday night football game. That was the Colts at Broncos. One of the worst games I've ever watched. I didn't watch all of it because it was so boring, but I did watch a little bit of it in the fourth quarter. Let me tell you, that was definitely the first game I got wrong for the week. The Colts pulled that one out 12-9. Russell Wilson just played horrible. Missed wide open wide receivers. You know, he's having flashbacks, throwing interceptions in the end zone instead of running the ball on 4th and 1. That was just horrible. The Broncos didn't deserve to win that game. So, I got that game wrong. Colts pulled it out 4 field goals to 3 field goals. But a win's a win. The Colts are now 2-2-1. And now the Broncos fall to 2-3. Next up, let's go to my game that I was at. The Lions at the Patriots. So, obviously I picked the Patriots for this game. I was a little nervous going up against what was the number 1 offense. But let me tell you something. Watching that game in person, watching Jared Goff run around, it looked like he had PTSD from Super Bowl 53 when he was getting chased around. Except this time, instead of scoring 3 points, they scored 0 points. He could not do anything under pressure. Even when they were able to move the ball past midfield, he threw a pick, and they went for it like 6 times on 4th down and converted 0 times. The defense was great, definitely what we needed. As far as the offense goes, that was where the question mark was, but Bailey Zappi played with poise. He extended the play. He was able to move around a little bit on his feet and look downfield, keep his eyes downfield, make the right throws. The only interception he even threw was because of Aguilar, who we all know how I feel about Aguilar. Perfect pass, bounced right off of his hands. I'm pretty sure Bill benched Aguilar after that. He honestly should be cut from the team, but it was a great win. So let's see what the Patriots can do next week against the Browns in Cleveland. Next up on the list, so I got that game right. Next up we have the Giants at Packers. I did not expect the Packers to lose to the Giants. This should have been my lock of the week, but either way, it would have been wrong. So the Giants are now 4-1. Packers fall to 3-2. They just cannot convert on offense. When I checked the score when I was at the game, the Packers were up by a good amount, and then they showed the final score on the scoreboard, and everyone was in disbelief that the Giants came back and won the game. So hey, there you have it. Not what I was expecting. This next game, Steelers at Bills, this was what I was expecting. The Bills absolutely slaughtered the Steelers. They just had one of those signature Bills games where they did completely dominate in every phase, and the Steelers are just having a complete meltdown of a season. Next up, we have the Chargers at the Browns. I thought it would be a competitive game. It was definitely close. The Chargers like to play that way sometimes, but the Chargers pulled away with a win, 30-28, like I thought they would. And they improved to 3-2. It was really a much-needed win for both teams, but the Chargers were able to follow through. Next, we have the Texans at Jaguars. Another game. I thought the Jaguars could be a little more consistent this season with winning, but 6 points against the Texans, who hadn't won a game yet, and now the Texans win. So I got that wrong. I don't know what to expect out of any team in the AFC South right now. It's really hard to know what's going to happen. Next, we have the Bears and Vikings, a little closer than I thought it would be, 22-29, but the Vikings won. Kirk Cousins is now 4-1, which he's never been in his career. So let's see if the Vikings can keep building on this. Next, we have the Seahawks at the Saints. I thought this would be a close game, but I went with the home team, and it paid off. The Saints were able to put up 39 points thanks to Taysom Hill. I gotta say, though, Geno Smith looked really good. They also showed a lot of his 50-yard touchdown passes on the Jumbotron, and he looked like he was playing pretty well. Unfortunately, the Seahawks have no defense. Next, we have the Dolphins at Jets. I thought Teddy Bridgewater could handle business, but unfortunately, he got knocked out of the game early on, and I never even heard of their third-string quarterback. So, Credit to the Jets, though. They played pretty well. They put up 40 points on the Dolphins' defense. Pretty impressive. Zach Wilson is playing better than he has ever before, which isn't saying much, but it's an improvement, so we'll see what happens there. Next, we had the Falcons and Buccaneers. Pretty close game. Brady was pretty efficient, though. Well over 300 yards. Three touchdowns, I think, no interceptions. So the Buccaneers did what they needed to do. Didn't really have a question about this game, but the Falcons did put up a little bit of fight. We'll see what happens next week. Next up, we have the Titans at Commanders. Again, I thought this game could be close. This was Carson Wentz's, one of his first really bad games. If you look at Carson Wentz's numbers, they haven't been horrible throughout the season. They just haven't been spectacular, but he had a lot of turnovers. Maybe it was the Cowboys game that he had a lot of turnovers, but either way, the Titans played a little bit better. Derrick Henry helped them out there, and they won 21-17. So now the Titans are 3-2 and in first place in their division. Next, we have 49ers and Panthers. I didn't know the 49ers would blow out the Panthers like this, but I certainly thought they would win. Jimmy G had one of those really good games that he has against certain teams, 37-15. So now the 49ers are 3-2. And they're in first place in their division. Eagles, this is the game I bet against the Eagles, and I probably shouldn't have, but it was really close. The Cardinals definitely had a shot to win the game. But the Eagles were just a little bit better. Their defense held true, and they pulled out the victory 20-17, so they're 5-0 now. And then the Cowboys, wow, this was my lock of the week. I think I'm going to stop doing locks of the week for right now because I'm 2-3 on locks of the week. The Cowboys' defense and run game just dominated the Rams. The Rams are 2-3 now, so they better figure it out because Stafford is just not looking good. I know he doesn't have as much time in the pocket, but they've got to figure something out. They have zero run game. Cooper Kupp can't do everything. Cowboys, though, 4-1 with Cooper Rush. We'll see what happens there. They say Dak hasn't gotten his grip back, but who knows? Bengals and Ravens, 17-19. I thought it'd be a little higher scoring game, but I did pick the Ravens to win, and they were able to actually finally close out a game for once. So keep an eye on that division. It should be really good going down the stretch. And then finally, the Monday Night Football game. Sometimes the Raiders and Chiefs games are just crazy, but I didn't quite expect it to go that way. I did pick the Chiefs to win, but Travis Kelce with 4 touchdowns, and then Hunter Renfrow taking out Devontae Adams on the final pass on 4th down, and that was just insane, that whole sequence of events. I don't know about going for the 2-point conversion, but I mean, would you rather go into overtime with the Chiefs? It doesn't really matter either way. So the Raiders just kind of choked, and the Chiefs played a little bit better. So that's it for this week, and I will get you my Week 6 picks pretty soon, so we will see you next time.